DC Boxing Legend Podcast. 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 Home of the champions.
DC Boxing Legends past and present. Here with a special guest today. One of the all-time greats that come out of Washington, D.C. It's only a few names that come to mind when it comes to world titles, and he's one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Sharmba Mitchell.
How you doing, man?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right, man. You know, just living life.
That's right.
I'm just blessed to be here right now. That's all.
That's right, brother. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. You know, when we was coming up in the amateurs, man, your name always came up. And, you know, we had some big shoes to fulfill back in those days, man.
Oh, man. I got you.
Yes, indeed, man. So,
yeah, absolutely. It's funny. I see a lot of the amateur tournaments and stuff now, man. It's hard to put together tournaments now. Back then, man, we was fighting almost like 2 or 3 times a day.
Yes, indeed.
We had so many kids in the tournament trying to get there, you know?
That's real fact, man. That's a real fact, man. And
absolutely.
A lot of rumbles back then, especially at Hillcrest and those Golden Gloves, man.
Oh, come on, man. That was the jump. You know, Hillcrest Heights was the spot. Wasn't nowhere else.
That's real. That's real, man. And they definitely came.
That's a legendary spot.
Man, they was
panorama room or something.
Yes, indeed. They say, man, when you fought there, man, it would be jam packed all the way down the street, man. They came to see you.
Something, man. It was funny. The biggest fight ever, probably in the history of amateur boxing for DC, was probably myself and Lily.
Okay, yeah.
When me and Lily Thompson, when we fought, man, when I say everybody came out with so much money bet on that fight. It was unreal. Yeah. Rafers, everybody.
You
know, man, listen to me, everybody was there and everybody betted on it.
That's real, man. I heard about it, man. They talked about that where they say Sharmba and them, they had that thing lit, man, from all the way.
Yeah.
Cause you couldn't get no pocket space or couldn't even get in.
You couldn't even get in.
Yeah.
You couldn't even get in. Yeah.
So, brother, when did you start boxing?
Man, I started boxing in 1978, man. I was 8 years old.
Wow.
I started at Round One Boxing Club in Hyattsville, Maryland, man. My father just came past my house one day and asked me to ride with him. He drove me down to the gym and asked me, is this something you would like? I was like, oh, it was all right. You know, I wanted to play football, man. That was my sport. That's my number one sport is football. So I was playing football. I was playing soccer. I was playing all kinds of sports. Mm-hmm. I was just a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It wasn't nothing I said I grew up with, you know, boxing, anything like that. It was just another sport for me. So, you know, it was something to do.
Right. So, man, what was it like, man, getting the training and the tutelage from the great Adrian Davis? How was that for you?
Man, you know, it's funny. His son, for like 3 weeks, Adrian was there, and then he had to end up going out of town.
Okay.
And Vaughn taught me a lot of stuff. Okay. For about 3 weeks, man.
Right.
And then Adrian came back in town. Adrian, and then Marvin came on board. Rock Sims, he came on board, and he was my other trainer. But man, you know, learning from a slick fighter,
right?
You know, that kind of knew a little bit of everything. He showed me just how to throw my punches absolutely correct,
right?
How to twist and turn and stuff like that with my punches. So, you know, it was a great thing, and I take all hats off to him, because I'll be honest with you, man, if it was not for him, I don't think I'd be anything.
Right. On that same question, this day and time now, you have a lot of trainers that never boxed before.
You couldn't train me.
So what's your take on that this day and time? Like, I can understand a lot of them never fought, but if they had somebody in the gym with them that fought, that might make a difference. What you think about that?
I can't really see it because of the fact that you don't know how it is when you in the trenches and it gets thick up in that ring, and you don't know how it is when it gets like you can't breathe, and you're so tired, and what do I do next?
Right.
Those kind of steps. You don't know how it feels to come out that dressing room and have the whole world on your back. Like, like they always say, you feel like you got the whole world on your shoulders.
Yes, indeed.
Listen to me. It's real.
It's real, man. I know,
it's real.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know the weight and the butterflies and the headaches you get just for that part of it alone.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then you got to go into that ring and face that person across from you.
That's real.
So it's funny. I was never scared of the person across from me.
Right.
You a man, I'm a man, and you either gonna knock me out or I'm gonna knock you out, whatever.
Right.
It don't make a difference to me. I was more worried about, I gotta represent DC. Like, this whole city, you talking about the nation's capital on my shoulders right now. I'm going into this ring, and I got other millions of people watching me all over the world. Like, I can't go out there look like no damn fool.
That's right. Growing up, man, like when you thought of round one, man, your name was always it's like when you compare, like, some people like Doug Williams to the Redskins, or Darryl Green to the Redskins. Mm-hmm. That's the same. Okay. That's how we see when we see round one. It's like round one, your face is on there. You know what I'm saying? Right, because your name always came up with round one. You kind of made round one like the place to go to. People went to round one because Sharmba Mitchell was there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I'm glad of that.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, it's a couple of places, everybody know when you go into Southwest, that's Mark. You got Mark Two Shop Johnson, he down at Ham's gym.
Yeah.
That's Ham's gym.
Yo, showing up. Yeah. When you got when you say Pepper Career, you got Simon Brown and Maurice Block. Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just those certain people you got, they're going to stick with you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's just like saying, Palmer Park. Oh, Sugar Ray Leonard?
That's already stamped. Yeah, you already...
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Clearly.
Yeah.
So, how many amateur fights did you have, man?
Woo! I had 172.
I thought so. I knew it was over the hundreds and something, man. I could,
172.
172, man. And you came out of that class, of that 88 class, right?
Yes.
That was a mean joint, Joe.
It was no class like that 88 class. To get even through the 88 class, just name. You can name.
I can name them locally.
Champion. Yeah, but the world champions, people that didn't even make the people that didn't even make the 88 Olympic team that year.
Right.
It was more of them that became world champions than the ones that made the team.
Real talk.
It's funny because I was the youngest on that team. Mark was one of the youngest ones on that team at the time. Also, they had their people pick to choose to go to that Olympics. So we had a chance, but we really didn't have a chance. Not unless, like, I would have ended up having to fight Kelsey Banks and knock him out,
right,
to get on that team.
Right.
They made me fight Kevin Kelly, and the fight was close. So guess what?
They gave it.
They figured I lose. They figured I'd come back another 4 years.
Right.
I wasn't doing that.
They wanted you to do that. That's how they used to work.
I wasn't doing that, and boom, I went out to become a world champion.
Yes, indeed.
But it took 88 was kind of like that ground where you still was on a whole, like, I went 32-0 or some shit like that, and didn't even have a chance to fight for a world title yet.
I noticed that, man. I looked on your box rec. I was like, Sharmba had to fight almost 30, 40 fights before a title fight.
Absolutely. They wasn't giving them away like they're giving them away now.
They're not, man.
Not then. I had to get permission. I actually had to get permission to fight because I wasn't 21 yet. I had to get permission to fight more than 8 rounds.
Wow.
And fight in Vegas.
Wow.
I actually had to get permission. Like, I had to get permission to be able to go to the Olympic trials. I had to get permission to go to the Olympic festival.
Wow.
I had to get permission to do all that stuff, man. I wasn't old enough.
Right. Well, how was you?
I was old enough.
How was you doing that tournament during the '88? You was. I said how.
I was still only 17.
Okay.
So I was getting ready to graduate from high school.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was still a little bit too young, and then when I had sat out a whole entire year because I didn't want to turn novice. I just wanted to turn open from the junior class to the novice division. I didn't want to go novice because I said, man,
you had to go novice back then like that. Because when I fought Jo, I went straight open. They changed it after my time, I guess.
No. See, back then,
dang,
you had to be a certain age to go open.
Wow.
I wasn't old enough to go open yet, so it made me go novice, and I sat out a whole year because of the fact that
you didn't even want to deal with it. Yeah,
I didn't want to fight the same people that have been fighting already.
That's, I feel you, man. Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Why keep beating me? I don't feel like this shit.
Right.
I was like, I want to turn open.
Right.
I don't care. Well, you're gonna fight grown men. I don't care.
Yeah. That's how I had to do it, man.
Then I was like, man, I don't care. Look, man, I'm from DC. I'm not tripping.
Exactly. I'm ready to see him.
Man.
Come on now, real talk.
Exactly. So when I did get the permission to do it, that's why a lot of guys from the Army and the Navy and the Marines that I ended up fighting in late classes, they got mad because I wasn't even really old enough still to even go to Olympic Festival. But I qualified for it, and I got the bronze medal in the Olympic Festival.
That's right, man. Yeah. I didn't know you was that young that you couldn't fight that tournament, man. I didn't ever know that, man.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah,
man.
So I did a lot of ground, breaking on a lot of stuff.
Yes,
that a lot of people really don't even know, man.
Yeah,
like they don't even understand. Like, I was the first one to bring boxing and bring Showtime back to DC.
That's a fact. I was there.
I was the first one to have boxing go to the convention center. I was the first one.
Yeah.
I was the first one to open up boxing to the MCI Center.
That's facts. I was there too.
I was the first one. Guess what? You think the MCI Center got my picture in there?
No.
Nope.
I remember.
You think the convention center got my picture?
Nope. That's how they do. That's how they do, man. I remember, speaking of the MCI Center, man, I went and watched you and Reggie Green fight. Hey, brother, that was rumbling.
That was my first fight there. I gave him the chance to fight and get a shot at the belt because they asked me, man, we got some contenders and something. I was like, look, if you don't get somebody from DC a chance, get Reggie a chance.
Exactly.
Man, look, I'll give him a shot at the title.
That's right. So they don't do that no more, man.
I'll give him a shot at the title. Look, it was a thing where I didn't care who I fought.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I ain't picking and choosing. Let's battle.
I noticed that, man. And I was saying, when I was looking at some old fights, man, where you and Kenny Bazemore, and it was about the Rumble and all that,
I didn't even want to fight Kenny Bazemore. They ended up making me fight Kenny Bazemore at the RFK, and I ended up knocking him out.
Right.
Yeah, I ended up knocking him out. So, like I said, I didn't even want to fight Kenny Bazemore.
Right. See, but a lot of the youngest don't know this. Back then, boxing, how it is now. With a lot of the local, you picking and choosing. See how many local fights. Some back then you could have to get DC gave each other shots at titles and stuff too. Like as you talking about you and Reggie Green, so you didn't have to fight him. You trying to give your brother from home a shot. If he could beat you, he could beat you. If he can't, then
If he can't, he can't. But my motto was always this: DC, my home.
That's right.
Slim, hey, listen to me. Ain't nobody come. I don't give a fuck if you from here.
Right.
You ain't coming to my home.
And take it.
It ain't happening.
It ain't happening. That's likewise, man. That's how I was, man. I wasn't having it. Same way,
not
man.
At home.
Not at home.
At home. You ain't beat me in my house.
That's right.
My house is DC.
Real.
I was born and raised here. Wasn't born in Maryland.
That's right.
Born in nowhere else. I was born in DC, Providence Hospital.
That's right, bro.
You ain't beat me. You ain't beating me in my city.
That's real talk, man. I was the same way, man. Wasn't having it at all, man.
I don't care if you was from here.
You're right.
Well, you said you was from here.
Exactly.
I don't give a you wasn't beating me in my house.
That's real talk, man. That's real talk, man. Who was your local rivalry in the amateurs? In the amateurs,
I didn't really have a local rivalry as an amateur.
Okay.
Let me see. I think I fought. I think Lily probably was my rival.
Okay.
Because it was just a thing with me and Lily.
Okay.
I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was an uptown thing,
right?
Southwest.
That's how it be.
I don't know because my man was Bun and his man was Rayford. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We was still cool because me and Mark was always cool.
Right.
My dad was postman down in Southwest. He knew Mark and him, and I know Mark since I got about 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So it wasn't like that. So
who was your national rival?
Oh man. It was a dude from Chicago that used to go to the tournaments every year. He was the only reason we never fought each other, he hated me. And we never fought each other because I think he was a little bit older than me.
Okay.
I end up fighting him though.
Okay.
I end up fighting him in the Junior Olympics.
Okay.
The National Junior Olympics. And I ended up fighting him in the semifinals.
Okay.
And beat him.
Okay.
And I heard, and this is the way I heard that he went home, robbed somebody, and ended up getting shot or something like that, in jail or something like that.
God,
but yeah, he was just that pissed and mad.
That was me, Joe. That's me.
We used to see each other at the Ohio State Fair.
Okay, yes, indeed. Because when I fought up there in '94, man, your name, it was like, because I wanted up there I wanted 3 times up there. And
up in the national,
up in Ohio State Fair, yeah.
So Mark Tushaw's brother and I are the only 2 that won it the most times out of anybody in the history of the tournament.
I can believe it, man.
We won it 6 times in a row.
Wow. Yeah, I did it 3, so then y'all did it, and y'all name came up.
Light them up.
Both of your names.
And I got the outstanding fighter 4 times.
Okay.
For the whole tournament. Yeah.
Man, that's amazing, man.
Every year I won it.
Yeah.
Every year I won it.
I lost it my first time and I won it 3 straight after that. But they had, back them judges, man, wasn't in our favor. So I was, I ended up having to fight somebody from DC, the bronze medalist, Clarence Vincent. I beat him up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny, like people don't understand, like people that come out of the Ohio, like the Ohio State Fair was like one of the biggest tournaments ever.
That's what And
anybody that was a world champion,
they fought it. They had to. Yes, back then. Yes, indeed. Real talk.
That tournament, Slim. Yeah.
Real talk. Man, how was that transition from the amateurs going into the pros?
It's like night and day. To be honest with you, man, like people don't understand. Like going from an amateur to a pro, it's like night day, dog. It gets faster.
Mm-hmm.
Punches get a little harder.
Right.
Niggas just don't drop. Niggas just don't fall on the ground.
Right.
And the big thing for me is that I fought a lot of people that had a lot of experience. A lot of experienced old fighters. That's what I fought. I fought a lot of experienced old fighters to give me that acknowledgement of, who I was fighting and stuff like that.
Right.
By going up Atlantic City to fight, going, this place to fight, stuff like that. And that's what the problem with a lot of these kids now. Like, we doing a lot of fights here in DC. We doing a lot of fights locally, but you're not really fighting anybody. Pick some of these old world champions,
exactly,
stuff like that.
Learn something from them.
You're gonna learn.
Yeah, and
you understand what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn the tricks and the trades, and some of that stuff ain't gonna go by you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell a lot of guys to say, man, look, everybody in the pros can hit. Everybody can hit.
Yep.
I say you better learn how to get about that way.
Yep.
Throw your combinations and use that jab. You think you can go in there with that one punch? Go ahead. Yeah,
I see a lot of these youngest nowadays that ain't using that jab like back in the days.
Listen, man, they don't know it's called fundamentals.
Exactly.
The fundamentals.
Yes, indeed.
The fundamentals ain't gonna never change.
They ain't, man. They ain't
gonna never change. And you can go right in there and beat these young cats right now with just the fundamentals.
With the fundamentals.
Because they don't know anything. Because guess what? All they doing, they think they can block some and throw that one hard punch.
Yep.
That ain't going nowhere.
They ain't going nowhere, man.
Where it going?
I be telling these youngers, you could take one of them old fighters back in the days, and if you could take them back in time to their youthful age and throw them in the ring, in 6 weeks they'll beat every last one of your champions.
This is the funny thing is that I'm in the gym now, and I spar with some guys, some of the young dudes and stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
And it's horrible because it's almost like, man, I could come back and destroy.
Right.
So it's ridiculous, but I'm just not doing it.
Exactly. It ain't happening.
They're giving away money.
They giving it away, man.
Listen to me. I'm not doing it.
Exactly.
These jokers don't know any fundamentals or anything. They just trying to get that one shot.
Yeah, y'all, man.
And that one, and like I tell these jokers, everybody in the pros can hit, and everybody in the pros can take a punch.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you gonna deal with a different beast when he punch back correctly.
Absolutely.
Man, I wanted to mention too, man, I'm a fellow musician, right?
Okay.
And I know you a drummer, man.
I play the drum. Man, I've been playing drums since I was 5 years old. I've been playing the trumpet since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
I used to play in the youth orchestra.
Okay.
I used to have the youth orchestra in
yes, indeed.
Coolidge High School.
Most definitely. Yeah.
Uh-huh. I played in the youth orchestra for 3 years, man.
Okay.
And I traveled on the first team.
Man, when you sound just like me, man, I went to Duke Ellington and I was fighting in the Nationals during that time, winning Nationals, going to Duke Ellington. So we got a similar background, man, in so many ways.
Okay.
And I wanted to mention also about, man, I met you back in 1995. You came to the fights, man, and that's back when they had the boxing cards.
Okay.
And you signed my card, man. I was at the time 15 years old, man.
Okay.
You was busy training and fighting and traveling, so you know what I'm saying?
I was doing so much.
You was doing so much, man. Yeah, so it was an honor for you to, just to sign our card, because you and Mark and Keith Holmes and Daryl Coley, y'all guys was just doing some things. It was just motivating and inspiring us on another level, man.
You say Daryl Coley. I fought Daryl Coley in the amateurs maybe 19 times.
For real?
And beat him every time.
Oh,
Listen to me. He never beat me in the amateurs.
Wow.
And you can tell that punk I did the shuffle on him and did a flurry.
Oh man, I ain't know y'all fought that many times, man.
Yeah,
I know he mentioned your name. He always mentioned your name on a lot of different.
Because he can't. He always got. He better than mention my name because I owned him.
I did not know that y'all fought that many times, man.
Listen to me, man. I own that man.
Wow. See, it's always there's a lot of dudes don't know back then, man. You had to go through some stuff. It was some good fighters, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow, I didn't know y'all fought that many times, man. Also, man.
And my first ever, I'm gonna tell you, my first ever loss ever as an amateur was to Curtis Peoples.
Curtis Peoples a bad boy too, man.
He was a bad boy then. Curtis Peoples, my first ever loss as an amateur.
Wow.
Curtis Peoples. I only lost 6 amateur fights.
Right.
7 amateur fights.
Okay, wow. And Curtis Peoples was one of them.
Curtis Peoples was one of them. Yep.
Curtis Peoples had that dog type, pressure type fighting, didn't he?
Yeah. And you know, and the only reason I fought him because we had something going on. I think Curtis Peoples' opponent pulled out. Curtis was older than me and he was bigger than me, and they said, well, we don't have anybody for him to fight. I said, well, I'll fight him. I don't care.
That's right. That sound like me, man.
Listen to me. I was that way at like 10, 11 years old.
Right.
Because that's when we fought when I was like 10, 11. I think I was probably 95 pounds or something like that.
Okay. So
or that, but yeah.
So I didn't know you fought Curtis Peoples. Y'all had a good squad. That 88 crew, man, just was a vicious squad, man. So you couldn't get out that game unscathed, man.
Out of DC, we had a lot of good dudes, but it's like everybody always asks me, how do you get out of it? Like the streets just grab, like you know how our streets are.
Yes, indeed. It'll grab you.
My problem with bras. That's what my problem.
Okay, that was most of our problems, man.
It wasn't no drugs, anything like that.
It was the bras, man.
For me, sports and girls.
Yeah, that's everybody's. That was most of our problem back then, man. And especially the 80s and 90s, man.
Exactly. Absolutely.
It was our problem. They was bad, man. They was serious back then, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, also, man, you have a college degree.
Well, I don't have a college degree. I went to college.
Okay, I thought you had a college degree.
I went to Howard for 2 years.
Okay.
I went to Maryland for 2 years.
Okay.
My career was getting too heavy when I was at Maryland.
Okay.
And I had to drop out.
Okay. I thought I read that somewhere. I knew you was in school. They mentioned it.
I was in school, man. I went to college. Then our line got kicked off, and I was. And then after that, it was like my career started. I started traveling too much. I was going to training camps, stuff like that.
I understand.
And I couldn't get my class work in or anything.
I can understand that. You know that boxing, that beast, man. We can't. It's either that or nothing else, man. There's no way around that one, man. Especially as a world champion. And I came up through the same era of Floyd. Me and him fought in the same tournament in '95. How was that experience with you and him fighting?
Well, you know, me and Floyd was always friends.
Right.
And I was actually in training camp. I had just signed to fight Zab.
Okay.
And I was in training camp and Zab pulls out.
Yeah, I remember that.
So when Zab pulled out, I'm still up in my house in Florida, and they was like, well, which one? I was like, I just want to stay up here for a minute. So I was pissed. Right. And then they called me and asked me, did I want to fight Floyd? And I was like, you know, Floyd. So he and I got on the phone. Man, it's business.
It's business. Yes, like, indeed. Whatever.
All right.
Yes, indeed.
Let's do it. I was ready. When the fight with Zab fell out, I was really ready to retire.
Right.
I was like, I'm done.
Because he was talking real slick out the mouth, though, man.
But I fought the fight, and then I fought 2 more, and then that's when I retired. Right.
By then, you had almost 62 fights, right? When you retired, 63 professional fights. It's a lot of fights.
Yeah.
You know, so that means you was busy back all through your career, bro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was busy because I was the first one to get the Tuesday night fights USA deal.
Okay.
I was the first one to get the ESPN. I had my promoters was up in the Guild up in Atlantic City.
Okay.
So Yeah. To get those contracts to fight on, USA Tuesday night fights, and then be able to, do the things I did.
Right.
That's a great thing. A lot of the guys didn't have that. And that's the problem with a lot of the promoters, the people now.
Right.
A lot of the managers don't know anybody.
Right. That's true fact.
They think they do. But they don't.
They don't.
And you got these fighters now that just fighting really nobody, like tomato cans.
That's real talk, man. That's real. That's facts, man.
Like I'm gonna get the bum off the street.
Yeah, I see a lot of that, man. A lot of that.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
And you ain't getting no experience out of it. What kind of experience you getting out of it?
Explain this. What was that feeling like when you won your first title, world title?
Oh man, you don't even people don't understand. And then I won my title in France.
Right.
So I'm in Paris. I'm over there, and I got some of my family over there that ain't never been anywhere. I got some of my family over there, but it's nothing like winning a title over in France. And then them jokers treated me like a king, man. They did parties.
That's what's up, man. Damn.
It was awesome.
That's what's up, man.
It was awesome. So, pretty good.
I asked William Joffrey the same question I'm gonna ask you, man. How is it when it's you, Keith, Mark, and William Joffrey and Chop Chop? How is it when y'all guys just sitting around? I told him, I said, it's like, how the presidency, you got your, how the presidents, the former presidents had a president's club. What is it like being the DC World Champion Club, man?
Well, it's funny because we always joke with each other.
Right.
Like, we always joke with each other. And it's like because of the fact that we all kind of sparred and came up in the same gyms almost.
Right.
And we used to spar with each other and stuff like that. So we was always all friends.
Right.
But man, we get on Chop Chop out him and his, Victoria's Secret and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Joppy just crazy as all get out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I always joke with Keith Home because I told Adrian don't ever put me in the ring with him again.
Right.
That nigga hit too hard.
Yeah.
But, we all, it's funny because we all used to spar one another.
Wow.
These are people that I used to spar. Joppy, Keith, you name them, came up that.
Yes,
that
indeed.
Like, we all sparred one another.
Yes, indeed.
We wasn't tripping.
Right.
Niggas hitting hard.
They working.
Joe could break us down at any time, but guess what?
Yeah.
We was there. I was there.
That's right.
I was the little dudes.
Right.
With the dudes that, the world, that was fine with other world champions.
Right.
156
pounds. Yeah. That's how it went down back then, though, man.
Exactly.
That's how it went.
Come on. Keith
Holmes, big boy, man. He's solid, too, man. Tall.
That nigga, let me tell you something. Keith hit so hard. It's unreal.
I heard, man. I heard Keith could crack, man.
Yeah. He's so hard. He's so hard. It's unreal.
Yeah,
though.
man.
You understand?
I can tell, man.
Yo, I'm telling you. But yeah, I mean, we joke about who the best southpaws.
Yeah. It's three of y'all. Yeah, under the world championship.
I used to tell my nigga, I'm the best southpaw.
Right.
And then Mark little fat ass get up tumble.
Wow, man. I knew it. I said that the elite club, man, to be elite club of champions all in one place, man. We were so proud of, man, just being amateur fighters back then, or for the ones, because by then I was out the game, but most of the amateurs back then had something to go brag about when they went to the Nationals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We the home of the champions, let them know this world champion hometown,
Yeah.
What advice do you... Go ahead.
The 89 was really the first year I was supposed to be really a real true open class fighter.
Wow.
89.
89. Wow.
Yeah, because I would be graduating from high school.
Right.
And yeah.
That's amazing. They changed that, man. Because I was a junior fighting open fighters, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was totally different.
Yeah. Man. By then it was different.
What I'm saying? By then it was totally different.
Yes, indeed. Because I couldn't get no work in that JO, so I had to fight the open guys. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Because like I said again, your era, it was kind of dwindling down.
Yeah.
More kids was more out in the streets.
They started hitting them streets.
Sports.
They did.
And then when I was coming up, we had 200-300. Like, so when I used to fight out in Ohio State Fair, I literally fought twice a day.
Yeah, that's mean. We didn't do that though.
Every time I've done it, twice a day.
Yeah.
And one time I fought, me and Mike Tyson was fighting at the same time. I remember big white boy, he fought big white boy, Mike, white boy knocked him down. The whole ring sounded off. The third ring sounded off.
Right.
And we all stopped.
Wow.
And we had all stopped. Yeah.
That's mean, man. That's mean.
Yeah, that's when we was in Ohio, man. We was staying in the dorms and all that.
In the dorms, I did that. Yeah, in the dorms.
That's how I ended up meeting Mike.
At the Ohio joint.
Right down. He was staying right down the hall from me.
At the state joint. Yeah.
In the dorm.
Yeah. I remember that, man.
I was what, like 10 years old, and he was like what, 15?
Wow.
Something like that thing.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. See, that's legendary, man. That Ohio State Fair, people don't know how mean that thing was back then, right?
You had Tommy Hearns, you had Mildred Taylor.
Mildred Taylors.
You had all the people. I'm gonna get this up. You had all those people come on. Like, people don't understand, man. If you was a fighter and
yes, indeed,
TV,
Earn Pride and all them guys. Yes, and everybody can do that.
My last year that I fought at Ohio, I ended up beating he died. What's his name? Tell me. Oh man.
Where you from?
From New York.
Okay. Gotti, Arturo Gotti.
Yeah, I ended up fighting Gotti.
Wow.
Gotti.
Damn.
And I dropped him in the first round in like the first minute.
Damn.
I dropped him. He got up and fought the shit out of me the whole rest of the 3 rounds.
Wow. He's one of them rough, tough ones.
He was undefeated then.
Damn. So, what advice do you have for the future of boxing?
Man, look, if you're gonna be in boxing, just take it 100 and 125%, not just 100%. Being at 125%. I think my problem was that I wasn't into it, 100%. I think because of the fact that I knew how to do so many other things.
Exactly, same here. Same here.
And that's why I went to school.
Right.
I went to school because I knew I wanted to do other things.
Exactly.
I wanted to do something other than just a sport to get me by if I had to get by.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, I know how to do electrical work.
Right.
I know how to do carpentry work.
That's right.
I know numbers,
Right.
It's a lot of things I know other than just boxing.
Right.
And just sports. So that was the big thing for me. So I never put 150 or 125% into boxing because, I knew how to do so many other things, but God gave me that gift.
That's right.
He blessed me with it. Listen, I didn't grow with nobody in my family that ever boxed a day in their life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wasn't as fortunate as a Floyd Mayweather or something like that. Like, he come out the womb with boxing.
He did, man. He did.
You know what I'm saying? That's all he know.
That's all he know. Don't want to know nothing else.
And my point exactly. So you either gonna make it or you not.
That's right.
See, for me, like I said,
you like me, man.
I know I can get me a job.
Me too.
I got business.
Hey, me too.
I got business.
That's right. That's right.
I'm not tripping on that.
You got
my money away. It's fine.
You got the same mentality I got, man.
Yeah, I'm letting my money work for me.
That's right. That's how you're supposed to do it.
I'm gonna still keep on working, Because guess what? I need more money.
That's
I
right.
My lifestyle.
Come on now, brother. Keep going. Keep pushing. And that's the same with me, man. My mentality the same way. I had other options. That's what you and
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it.
And that was my problem. Other than that, man, I had a great work. I can't really complain. It probably a lot of stuff I probably would do different, but I don't know.
But you got the mission.
I'd probably be more focused.
You got the mission accomplished, man. The whole mission was to be a world champion, and you fulfilled that mission.
Yeah.
Like I said, you got the mission accomplished. Your whole mission was to fulfill that mission, and you got it done, man.
Absolutely. That was I never thought. I'll be honest with you, I'd have never thought as a kid that I would grow up to be, or end up having the things that I had. Like, who ever grow up just saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a world champion," or I'm be in the Hall of Fame," or you can Google my name and everything about me, or I'm gonna be in the history books, or I'm gonna be in somebody's museum.
Right.
I'm in some, like, literally. My kids can go
and see you
in DC, in some of the museums, in the two or three museums, and see me in the museum.
That's real talk, bro.
If you here in Baltimore and you go to the sports museum down here, guess what?
You in there?
See a big ass picture of me in my trunks in the big ass museum.
Yes, like, indeed, brother.
Who grows up even thinking that's even out of DC?
That's real talk, man. That's a factor, man.
And like I say, I'm just blessed. Look, dog, I just turned 50.
I saw that, man. I wish you a happy birthday, too, on it, man.
Let me tell you something, dog. I know a lot of dudes that ain't see. I'm just blessed. Look,
you know how back then, in the 90s?
Look, I've been up underneath bus stops,
right?
Niggas shooting after
I know hip, man.
In the black hole,
I'm hip.
All them, come on, Slim. Man, I've been through. I know how it is.
Yes, indeed. I know I'm hip.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, man, we had the great Sharmba Mitchell.
Hey, man, it was an honor, a pleasure, man. Thank you, man.
It's an honor, pleasure to have you, brother. Anytime you welcome anytime, brother. You legend, other legends.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Peace and blessings, everyone.
All right, man.
Peace.
DC Boxing Legend Podcast. 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 Home of the champ.